Hey guys, welcome to Lead Simplify. This is a quick setup video to help you get your system up and running and ready to process leads. First, I'm going to show you what Lead Simplify can do and then run you through the steps to get it set up. So, when you first land into your system, you'll be presented with the dashboard. As you can see in this example, I've already got two lead buyers set up. So we've got Alan Hall, he's our lead buyer from A1 Auto Finance, and we've got Jordan King, he's our lead buyer for Car and Commercial Finance. And here is the industry or the niche that these guys are in. If they're in multiple niches, we'll see multiple. We can also see their notification preference, their lead buying preferences, and this is indicated on the map to show us our lead buyer coverage. So let's jump over onto a website where we've got a Lead Simplify form embedded. As you can see in this example, we're looking at Auto Finance, and here is our Lead Simplify form. This is used to capture leads, which are then processed in the system and distributed to our lead buyers based on the industry or niche that they're being submitted to and the location of the lead. So if I just jump back into Lead Simplify a second, we'll jump into the form builder and I will show you this form that we've got embedded on that website. So I'll pop this open in a new tab. Here is the actual form that's embedded on the car finance website that we've just had a look at. And here is how we get it embedded. So it's a simple iframe that you can copy and paste and embed into any website. This particular version of the code has a piece of JavaScript that automatically adjusts the height of the iframe depending on the height of your form content. So if you've got a form with lots of questions, this will automatically adjust the height of the iframe to match the content. This code is for a basic static iframe. If you've got a form with a long piece of content, then this won't automatically adjust. You'll set the height once within the style options here, and that will be a fixed height. So let's jump into this Auto Finance form and let's submit a lead. We can see in our dashboard that we've got coverage in New Jersey, New York. What we'll do is we'll submit a lead to the system via this form, and I'm going to choose a location in New Jersey. So the lead would like to borrow 15,000. They're currently employed and their annual income is 47,000. Now with this form you can ask any question you want, and I'll run you through the setup of that a little bit later on. Let me just get some details of what we're going to use when we submit this lead. So and what we'll do is, it's Brad at leadsimplify.com. We'll click the Apply Now button. The form's been sent off. Brad's received a success message to say thank you, and the request has been received. Let's jump into the system. So we click on leads. We can see that these two leads that have been submitted to this system. The one that we've just submitted now, Brad Wilson, At the moment, we can see this lead has been sold 0 of 1 possible times. If we click on the lead, we can see some of the details. We can pop open a map, look at the location if you need to, and we can see the information that Brad submitted. We can also see that we've got currently this lead has not been purchased, but we do have one matching subscriber or lead buyer in the system who matches the preferences of this lead. So if I just click on Karen Commercial Finance here, and I can see that this person is subscribed to the car auto finance niche, and their preferences are for leads within 30 miles of this location. This person isn't set to automatically purchase new leads. If they had this switched on, they would automatically purchase this lead when it came into the system. So what we'll see when we log in as this lead buyer a little bit later on, that one lead would be available for them to purchase. If we jump back onto the dashboard, as I said before, we've got a couple of lead buyers here. So if I jump back onto our lead buyers, go to leads, lead buyers, and then I will look at A1 Auto Finance. These guys are set to automatically purchase new leads. So if we submit a lead to the system that matches their preferences, which would be a lead submitted to this industry within 50 miles of this location, then this person would actually automatically purchase this lead. We can see a couple of other stats here with regards to this particular lead buyer. So if I hit refresh here, what will happen is we'll submit another lead to the system. So I'd like to borrow 10,000, currently self-employed, and my annual income is 60,000. And we'll click apply now. This lead has now been submitted to the system. If we jump back into our list of leads, we can see there's Tyler. Now, Tyler's not been purchased yet. However, we did say that he should have been auto purchased. Sometimes there's a delay of up to 2 or 3 minutes for the lead to be processed in the system and matched. But if we refresh it in a couple of minutes, we will see that this lead will be purchased. Let's give it a couple of minutes. In the meantime, I'll run you through a little bit of information with regard to what you're looking at on this lead screen as well. If you have a lead in the system, there's no purchases and there's no matching lead buyers, we've added a little button into the system there for you, which says search Google My Businesses for lead buyers. If you click this button, what will happen is you'll pop open a new window and you will see that it performs a search in Google Maps for you for car auto finance, which is a name of the industry or niche that this lead has been submitted to. As you can see there, car auto finance. I'll show you how to set that up later on. And you can see a list of potential businesses. This gives you a bit of a shortcut really, but you can broaden this search to include more lead buyers. But this gives you an idea. If you don't have any lead buyers in the system, you can do an introduction with these guys and try and get some of them on board, especially if you've got a hot lead for them ready and waiting. Now, if I go back onto the list of lead buyers, still not been purchased yet. There we go. So we've clicked back into this lead and we can see that Tyler Jackson has a purchase recorded. So A1 Auto Finance purchased this lead. They paid 10 credits and here's the date that it was purchased on. If we have a look at A1 Auto Finance, we can see if we look at their transaction history, I actually added 15 credits to this lead buyer as an introductory. They purchased one lead. They'll have a balance remaining of 5 credits in their system, as I'll show you when we log in as this guy. We can see a list of emails that's been sent out to them. We can also see, if we set up SMS and text messaging notifications, a list of SMSs that have been sent in or out by this person. We can see the purchase history here. So they purchased Tyler Jackson, they paid 10 credits. Here's the date that they purchased them. Hopefully that gives you a bit of an understanding of what Lead Simplify does, the power of what it can do, and the power of what it can potentially do for your business. So what we need to look at next is how we get this system set up and how we got to the stage that we're at right now. So let's do that for you. When you very first set up a system, what you'll be presented with is a screen that looks like this. So you'll have no lead buyers listed, and you won't have any notifications or coverage highlighted on your map. This gives you some basic stats of your system. So gives you this month's stats of the number of purchased leads, number of leads that have been purchased all time, the number of new leads this month, and the number of leads all time. As you can see, we've got a couple of warnings and recommendations. So the first thing we want to do is jump in and edit our preferences. So we'll set our business name and contact info. What I would like to do as well is change the country. I would recommend that you set your address in the system and you put your telephone number in, but as a minimum you can set the name and your email address. In this instance we're going to set the default location to the US, so we'll click save there. Then we'll jump back onto our dashboard. We'll notice that that first warning has gone. Now we've got 2 further warnings or recommendations. This one is for us to go and set our email and SMTP settings. As you may have just noticed, I've entered an email address a few minutes ago in the contact preferences. However, the system will send out emails from noreply@leadsimplify.com unless you actually configure your own SMTP settings. So if you'd like it to be sent out from your own email address, you need, which you may have. If you're stuck, let us know in Facebook or one of the groups, and we will help you get your SMTP set up. I won't cover this in this quick setup. It's for advanced users, and we can go over that a little bit later on. Also recommended is to set your Maps and Places API. These two things are not required, but they are recommended to do. We're going to pass over these for the time being. What we want to do is get your system to a basic level of being able to process leads, show you how to build a form, set up some industries and niches, and get ready to actually begin using the system. Later on, then we'll look at the advanced stuff. So what we're going to do next is we're going to jump over to our preferences. We're going to set the default country to the United States, which we've done. We're going to set our time zone to Eastern, and our currency is dollar. I'm going to save this, and then we're going to set up our credit options. Now, how the system works is lead buyers will purchase credits, then they will use credits to purchase leads. So by default, we've got a couple of options set up in the system. You can disable these options if you don't want them on. As an example, what we've got set up is 1 credit equals $2 in this case, because we've set our default currency as dollars. And then there's some bulk buy options. So if you buy 10 credits, it's $15. If you buy 50 credits, it's $50. If you buy 120 credits, it's $100. Let's disable the $100. And to keep things simple, what we'll do is we will set 1 credit to equal $1. So in the price, we're saying $1. The description of what they're buying. So you could, if you was doing some special bulk buy offers, you could enter that information in here. We'll do 1 credit, and then this is the actual number of credits that they're going to get for this price. So which would be 1. So we'll save that. And now we can see we've got our credit set up. So the next thing to do is create our industries and niches. So if we jump onto an industries tab, we click add new. What we're going to do is we're going to call this one auto finance. Now we've got an option. Cost in credits per lead in this industry and niche for lead buyers. So this industry, auto finance, when a lead is submitted into this industry, how much will a lead buyer pay in credits for this lead? So in this instance, we're going to set this to 10. In this simple, which would be quite low in this scenario, to be fair. However, in this situation, that would be fine. We'll keep things simple. Because we've just set up our credits to equal 1 credit equals $1, that means this would equal $10. The maximum, next up, we've got the maximum number of times a lead in this industry can be purchased. So when we looked at our list earlier, we can see that Tyler Jackson was sold 1 of 1 potential time. If we change this to 1, when a lead is submitted, only 1 lead buyer can purchase this lead, and then it will become unavailable. If you set this to 3, when Tyler was added into the system, he could be purchased by the lead buyer that already purchased him, and then any additional lead buyers you have in the system would also be able to purchase Tyler. Also, if they're all set on auto buy, then it would be distributed automatically to free lead buyers, providing you have them in your system that match your preferences, and you'd get paid 3 times, or their credit accounts will be, each one will be charged, so you'd have free lots of credits. That's useful in scenarios where people are normally looking for multiple quotes. So in the example of construction industry, if you was talking about building work at your home, renovation, customers would probably expect to be able to get a couple of quotes depending on the type of site or offer that you're running. You may say, fill out this form, get the best quotes on home renovation. In that scenario, you may want to have that number at 3. That means that 3 lead buyers could purchase the same lead. You'd probably want to make your lead buyers aware that that's the case, and the cost per lead in that industry would reflect whether it's a single lead or whether it's one that other potential lead buyers could purchase. The WorldPay installation ID and the PayPal payment email in this section are not relevant. This is relevant to the jobs and contractors section, which we're not covering today. We will cover a little bit later on. So you can ignore these 2 fields for the time being. The next option we've got is make this industry hidden. So when a lead buyer's using a self-service portal in the system, they can subscribe themselves to other additional industries that you have listed. If you tick this and say make it hidden, no other lead buyers in the system will be able to see this auto finance industry. So we'll keep this. Let's say, for example, you was running something in the potentially in the adult industry, or 2 industries that had some overlap or some conflict of interest. You would potentially want to hide some of those industries. So we'll click save on here. And then we've now added the auto finance industry. Next thing we need to do then is go and create a form. So we'll jump over to Leads, Form Builder, and then we'll add a new form. So we can see we've just named this form Car Finance 1. Here we can select the industry that leads submitted to this form will go into, which will determine the number of the actual cost per lead and the number of times that lead can be purchased. Here we've got the option of adding a lead source. So if we build a form and we know we're only sending Facebook traffic to that form, we may want to add that as a lead source, which will help us determine where traffic's coming from. There are also some advanced options which will allow us to include stuff like tracking pixels, which I'll cover in a few seconds actually. So the next option is use reCAPTCHA. This allows us to use a Google reCAPTCHA before the form's submitted. I'd suggest you do use reCAPTCHA because it will help keep your system safe from spam. If you've got lead buyers that are set on auto purchase and your system gets spammed, then they're not going to be happy that they're paying for junk. We do have a number of anti-spam methods built into the system. reCAPTCHA is an additional layer of security that I would recommend you use. However, it's not always recommended in some certain scenarios. So let's get on with building the form. First of all, we want to capture some user details. So if we drag this user details section in, or we just click it, it will auto fill the user details section. what we're going to do is we don't want address line 2, so we'll delete that. We don't want address line 3. We do want the name, the first line of the address, the zip code, telephone, email. We want to make telephone required, as we just have done there. And then, as we'd seen previously in the form that we'd filled out, we want to ask a couple of additional questions. There's loads of options that you can do in terms of building your form, lots of different fields, date fields. We won't bother adding a date field in, but I recommend that you jump into the system, have a play about, and it's really straightforward. You'll figure it out in no time. What we are going to do is we're going to say we want to put a select box in there. This one will be, no we don't actually, we'll do radio group and move this up to the top. You can also, if you click this once, it will add something straight into the bottom of the form. We'll just delete that and we'll delete this one. And if you grab it and drag it, you can drag it wherever you like. So we'll drag this at the top. This is going to be our employment status, so we'll say yes, this is required. Employment status, we'll do then we want to ask how much you'd like to borrow and what their annual income is. So add another number field in there. Edit this one. It's required. So we can set a minimum at 0. We'll make it go up. If they click one of these buttons here, it will jump up in steps of 100 on the actual form. So if we do this now, we'll click that. It doesn't actually do it when we're building this in here. It does. It's because I've got the maximum set at 5 at the moment. So say maximum 50,000. We can see it jumps up in steps of 100. Okay, and this will be required. What is your annual income? Again, set the minimum to 0, no maximum, and we'll leave this step there. Some of the other options here we're not going to cover. You can leave these by default as they are, and the system will handle that fine. So we've almost got the form. Let's save this first of all. We'll click it and jump back into it. So we can see here's a form almost in its entirety. However, if you remember when we was looking at this form, it goes in a couple of sections, and we've got a next button there, and then when we come to submit it, it says apply now. So we'll just edit this form again, and I'll show you how to put them steps in. You go to edit form, we put page break in. So we want the first page break after the annual income. In this scenario, we did it after the zip code. So we'll jump back in here and we'll put another page break in after the zip code. We're almost done. There's one other thing that we'd like to do, is we'd like to change the tags and the colors of the buttons. So the back button we've got red, the next button we've got green. We could do previous, select red, back. The next button we've got as green, that's next. And the submit button, once I say apply now, the success message we can leave at the default, or we could say there we go. We can set background colors for the form. At the moment it's set to white. As we can see, it is on here. However, we could make that transparent or set it to any color we like. We can set the text and body color to any color that we like as well. So let's save this, just check, run through a couple of these then. So we've got, first thing here in the advanced options, a redirect URL. If you enter a URL in here, once a form has been submitted successfully, users will be redirected to that URL within the form. So within the iframe, which would be this space here. You can put tracking pixels on that page or anything you like, images, or send them to any page you like. Now, what I would say is that if you enter URL here, they will not be greeted at the end of the process with this message. They were taken to the page that you insert in here. And we've got a repost URL. This is quite advanced. This allows you to resubmit the details that's been submitted on the form to another system, another CRM potentially, or any location you like. It's experimental, and there are no documentation available on this. However, I will get some information together for you guys if you're interested in the repost feature. Tracking pixel URL, so when your form has been submitted successfully, they will, as well as the success message that will be on the page, there's also an option to include a tracking pixel on that success page as well. If you enter an email address in here, this will send an email anytime that form's been submitted. There are a couple of advanced options which again I won't cover now for the sake of time, and we can save this and preview it. There we go. So we've got the form exactly the same as we had previously. Again, all you need to do is copy the code, insert it into any web page you like, and you're ready to start capturing leads. Once you insert the form onto a page and it's ready to start capturing leads, obviously you need lead buyers in the system. So the next thing we want to look at is adding a lead buyer. If you go into the lead buyers tab, you can see there is an option here which says allow lead buyers to self-sign up. You can send this out in introductory emails. They will be presented with this form, and it allows lead buyers to sign up themselves to the system using this form. Alternatively, you can set them up manually. So if you click add new, and as we've seen previously, this allows you to enter details of the lead buyer, add them to your system, ready to start purchasing leads. You can set their industries that they're assigned to, and then you can add a notification or preferences. So we say 30 miles, and let's just just say New Jersey, and you can add multiple notification options if you like. You can also set them to automatically purchase new leads, and when a lead's submitted to the system, they'll automatically purchase that lead provided they have credits. This works on a rotational basis, so if you've got a lead that's submitted to the system and a multiple number of lead buyers could potentially purchase this lead, the person who purchased a lead the furthest time ago will be the next person to purchase, and it just rotates around. So if somebody's just purchased a lead now, they'll get put to the back of the queue. It's as simple as that. You can then look at some of the additional information as we covered earlier, and that's pretty much it. Once you get a lead buyer in your system, you're ready to go. All you need to do then is place your lead form on a website and get ready to start taking leads. Now, one thing I want to show you here is this transactions page. What this will do is this will give you a list of transactions, credit purchase transactions from lead buyers. So in this example, I actually added 15 credits. 0 cash was paid for these credits. So let it load up. 0 cash was paid for these credits. Here's a subscriber that they was added to, and we're going to jump into their account in a second, and we'll have a look at what it looks like when you log into the system as a lead buyer. So we'll do this A1 Auto Finance because they've got credits. They've purchased a lead. If you give me 1 second, let me jump in there. Just have to use my phone a second to find the password that I set these guys up with. So if I got this right, looks like I might have. Good stuff. Okay, so as we mentioned earlier, we'd assigned 15 credits to this lead buyer. They purchased 1 lead, and that lead cost 10 credits, which leaves them a remaining balance of 5 credits. So in this system, I actually disabled all the other credit purchase options apart from the 1 credit option. Now, in the system I just showed you a few seconds ago, we will see that those other options are available. So we've still got the 3 options available there that would be enabled. In this system, there is only 1. If we enabled all the other options, they would then be displayed here. All they do is they click a button, it'll be taken to PayPal, where they can enter the details, and you will get a notification off PayPal to say you've received a payment. They'll be automatically redirected into the system, and their credit balance will reflect the number of credits they've just purchased. When a lead does not have enough credits but is set on auto buy, they'll receive a notification to say that this lead is available. However, they don't have enough credits. They'll also receive a low credit balance warning when their credits start to get low. They can see a couple of stats, so they can see this month they've purchased 1 lead. All time they've purchased 1 lead. This month there are 3 leads available, and all time there's been 3 leads available. This will give a list of latest available leads for them. We can see there was 2 leads set within the system earlier. Once you click on a lead to have a look at it, they'll get a notification if they don't have enough credits to purchase it to say you don't have enough credits to purchase this lead. The amount that the lead will cost, which would be 10 credits. And on the right hand side, they can see the current balance, and then they'll have the options, multiple options to purchase credits to be able to purchase this. They can see some of the details of the lead. So they'll get the name, they won't get the address, they won't get the telephone number. However, once you purchase the lead, they will get that information. They can also look in the My Lead section, and Tyler Jackson's available here. So click on this, and then because this lead has been purchased, they'll get the full amount of information that this lead had submitted to the system. That's a quick run through of what Lead Simplify does, the basic setup to get you up and running, and a perspective from a lead buyer point of view. Hopefully you like the system and you can see what sort of impact and potential it may have on your business in terms of helping scale, expand, reduce some of your current costs, and certainly save a great deal of time. Good luck, guys. Hope you do well with this, and speak to me or Mike if you need any assistance. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.